8:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. The visiting Indian advisor requests the Sri Lankan Prime Minister to initiate a dialogue to find pragmatic solutions for economic revival to the regional countries affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Education Minister reiterates that the controversial Batticaloa Sharia University has not been given any approval to run as a private institution. The Railway Control Room informs that train services on 14 railway lines will operate tomorrow or the day after during office hours only. New president appointed to the Sri Lanka Medical Council. It was revealed that 74% of the expected state income had already been earned so far for this year. News from overseas, Chinese doctors jailed for illegal organ harvesting. And in sports news, Diego Maradona, footballer laid to rest as Argentine grieves. Indian State Security Advisor Ajit Doval met Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Prime Minister's residence in Vijayarama today. The meeting was held under strict health regulations. Mr. Doval said that many world countries are affected due to the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic situation. He also pointed out that the countries in the South Asian region are also compelled to take forward their economic, social development activities under these conditions. The migrant workforce has been a strength to the countries like Sri Lanka and India. India's State Security Advisor also reiterated that a strong economy should be created in the region with the support of the smaller nations. The Indian advisor also requested the Sri Lankan Prime Minister to initiate a dialogue to find pragmatic solutions for economic revival to the regional countries which are affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation. Housing projects are being implemented in the north and the east with the support of the Indian government. Similarly, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa requested the Indian State Security Advisor to extend support to implement a similar housing project in the south as well. Earlier in the day, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval arrived in the country for a trilateral maritime dialogue among India, Sri Lanka and the Maldives. He was accorded a warm welcome by Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva. Sri Lanka will host the 4th National Security Advisor trilateral meeting on maritime security cooperation with India and the Maldives today and tomorrow. The meeting is to take place after 6 years. The last meeting was held in New Delhi in 2014. Education Minister Professor Gil Peiris reiterates that the controversial Batticaloa Sharia University has not been given any approval to run as a private institution. The minister revealed this information while making a statement in Parliament today. The minister also said the relevant university will be brought under the government and the resources of the university will be utilised for the new students who enrol in this institution. The minister also stated that the government is also probing the matter about the Sharia subject included in the earlier syllabus of this university. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Railway Control Room has informed that train services on 14 railway lines will operate tomorrow or the day after during office hours only. Accordingly, 3 main railway lines, 2 coastal lines, 1 service covering Chilau and 1 from Kalani Valley will be operated. The main train service to Kandy will leave Colombo at 5 a.m. The train service to Mahama will commence at 4:45 a.m. State Minister Rashan Ranasinghe says the government has devised a work plan to solve the land issues and the problems faced by the youth. If necessary, the relevant act will be amended with the sole objective of providing a just and fair solution to the general public. The State Minister also stressed that the land should be distributed in such a way that all members of the same family should enjoy equal rights on the particular land. The State Minister made these remarks while making a statement in Parliament today. Dean of the Faculty of Medicine at the University of Colombo, Professor Vajira Disanayake, has been appointed as the President of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, SLMC. According to the Government Medical Officers Association, GMOA, the appointment has been made based on the recommendations of the 5-member committee of experts appointed by Health Minister Pavitra Wanyarachi. GMOA Secretary Dr. Senal Fernando said that the experts committee had recommended the removal of Professor Harendra De Silva, who had served as president of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, and other council members. Professor Vidya Jyoti Vajira H.W. Disanayake is a pioneer in genetic and genomic medicine, biochemical informatics, and bioethics in Sri Lanka. He holds the position of head and chair professor of anatomy, director of the Human Genetics Unit, and the chairperson of the Speciality Board in Biomedical Informatics in the University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. He is a past president of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, SLMA, the current president of the Commonwealth Medical Association and the Health Informatics Society of Sri Lanka, an executive board member of the Global Genomic Medicine Collaborative, a board member of the Forum of Ethics Review Committee in Asia and the Western Pacific, and the chairman of the Commonwealth Centre for Digital Health. His team has published over 100 papers in peer-reviewed international journals and presented over 250 conference papers in genetics, genomics, bioethics, and biomedical informatics. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story: newly appointed IGP C.D. Wickramaratne made a courtesy call on President Gotabaya Rajapaksa today at the President's Secretariat. Mr. Wickramaratne is the 35th IGP of this country. The President extended his wishes to the new IGP. The President also had a cordial discussion with the IGP. IGP Wickramaratne presented a memento to the President on this occasion. That was the main news story. Watchlight follows. Commuters and long-distance passengers complain that they do not get enough and sufficient public transport services after 7 p.m. in the main cities, including Colombo. As a result, commuters, especially long-distance passengers, face immense difficulties. Sometimes they have to wait for long hours to catch a bus. This is for the attention of the Western Province Passenger Transport Authority. That came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow. The headlines: Chinese doctors jailed for illegal organ harvesting. Thailand, rare whale skeleton discovered. U.S. election, Trump signals he is prepared to leave the White House. 6 people, including several doctors, have been jailed in China for illegally harvesting organs from accident victims, reported the local media. The group had tricked the families of the deceased into thinking they were making official organ donations. Between 2017 and 2018, they removed the livers and kidneys of 11 people at a hospital in Anhui province. China is grappling with a huge shortage of organs and has struggled to meet demand through public donations. An almost perfectly preserved whale skeleton, thought to be between 3,000 and 5,000 years old, has been discovered in Thailand. The bones were found in early November, some 12 kilometers off the coast, just to the west of Bangkok. The 12-meter-long skeleton is thought to be that of a bride's whale. Experts hope the find might provide a window into the past, especially for research on sea levels and biodiversity. Donald Trump has said he will leave the White House if Joe Biden is formally confirmed as the next U.S. president. Answering reporters' questions for the first time since losing the 3rd November vote, Mr. Trump insisted, however, that this race is far from over. He has refused to concede, citing unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud. Individual states are currently certifying their results after Mr. Biden was projected as the winner with an unassailable lead. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Chinese doctors jailed for illegal organ harvesting. Thailand, rare whale skeleton discovered. U.S. election, Trump signals he is prepared to leave the White House. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news is up next. It was revealed that 74% of the expected state income has been earned so far for this year. The expected state income is 1,580 billion rupees, out of which 1,124 billion rupees has been earned. This information was revealed yesterday when the State Financial Select Committee convened under the chairmanship of Minister Anura Priyadarshana Iappa. That was a look at development news. Next, we take a look at sports news. Soccer. Football legend Diego Maradona has been buried in a private ceremony after a day of emotional scenes in the Argentine capital, Buenos Aires. Only around 24 relatives and close friends attended the final ceremony yesterday. But earlier, huge crowds turned out to pay their respects, with many weeping, blowing kisses and praying as they filed past his coffin. Maradona died of a heart attack on Wednesday, aged 60. Cricket. Australia beat India by 66 runs in the first one-day international in front of 20,000 socially distanced fans at an emotional Sydney cricket grounds. There were tributes to former Australian batsman Dean Jones, who died in September, and Philip Hughes on the 6th anniversary of his death. Both sides stood in a barefoot circle as a stand against racism pre-matches. Centuries from Aaron Finch and Steve Smith helped the hosts to 374 for 6, with India reaching 308 for 8 in reply. That was a look at sports news. Business news follows. Recording a year of commanding financial performance in a challenging economic backdrop, Navaloka Hospitals plc posted a revenue of 8.5 billion rupees for the fiscal year 2019-2020. While performance in the first quarter of the year was severely hindered due to the devastating Easter attacks, progress during the final quarter was impacted by the developing global health crisis. Profit after tax for the year in review was at 15.9 million rupees, a noteworthy increase in comparison to a net loss of 587.1 million rupees the previous year. A commendable performance amidst turbulent times. That was a look at business news. Economic news follows.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from
Economic news, courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Economic news. The central bank is to impose a rate cap for lending to property-backed loans to salaried employees. The maximum rate will be 7% for the first 5 years. All subsequent repayments will be capped at 1% point increase over the monthly average prime lending rate. Director Research Dr. C. Amarasekara said, mortgage-backed securities will not cause a bubble. The regulator is also looking to collect data and thereby target lending to certain thrust sectors of the economy. Currently, the regulator doesn't really have access to loan application information with regards to approved credit facilities and their breakdown. That was economic news. Finally, we take a look at the weather report.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the Uva and Central provinces in the evening. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. This weather report was published this evening at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That was a look at the weather report. And to end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. The visiting Indian advisor requests the Sri Lankan Prime Minister to initiate a dialogue to find pragmatic solutions for economic revival to the regional countries affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Education Minister reiterates that the controversial Batticaloa Sharia University has not been given any approval to run as a private institution. The Railway Control Room informs that train services on 14 railway lines will operate tomorrow or the day after during office hours only. New president appointed to the Sri Lanka Medical Council. It was revealed that 74% of the expected state income had already been earned so far for this year. News from overseas, Chinese doctors jailed for illegal organ harvesting. And in sports news, Diego Maradona, footballer laid to rest as Argentina grieves. That ends tonight's news broadcast.